Hello, hi everyone.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. This is the technical session number one. Uh, will be organized, will be presented by Mr. Professor uh, Sheroz Khan,
Sheroz Khan.
uh, Sheroz Khan, sorry,
Uh,
with the topic of digitalization using IoT as part of Industry Point 4. Mr. Sheroz, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Okay. I Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Uh, First of all, let me thank the IEEE Power Engineering Society for inviting me to talk on a topic which was basically the digitalization of energy. But then when I look at the topic, uh, what is a digitalization? Basically, is the connection of the physical world with the resources operating on digital data. So then the discussion of digitalization in power and in energy industry is so closely related to other similar domains. For example, in the education, in the healthcare, and at large in the energy industry. When I talk about the energy industry, that's basically including oil and gases as well, because that's also a kind of energy. So then I changed the topic a little bit with the approval and consent of the IEEE PES and the section. And that's how I'm presenting now digitalization using IoT as part of Industry 4.0. My presentation outlines a little bit of what is a digital economy. And
Can you put in presentation mode? Sorry for
okay,
the
okay,
interruption.
okay. Is it now visible?
Yes, perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, thank you. So my presentation outlines are a little bit about the digital economy, and then, of course, the digitalization in the banking sector and the e-commerce platform, healthcare, and then power and energy. And then all this are basically done for creating a kind of mobility in those respective domains. So slowly we move on to smart cities, intelligent highways, and then a little bit about the future of the digitalization in the Middle East. Questions and answer at the end. We already know that economy has been becoming already very much digital, and the things which were available in the market are now available just at fingertips. This is also uh, because of the implementation of digital resources and digital technology and in their respective domains. And as a result of this, the things when available, then of course uh, are also mobile. Available means that which can be accessed and which is like a source of authentic data and reliable data. So when the things becomes available in the form of reliable data, so obviously they are mobile. or the things are then can be transported, can be purchased, can be sold, is product, but it's not a hardware product, is a software product. And for this reason, the digitalization of things in various domains play an equally important role, uh, which is being played by the hardware side. So if we think about digital services as the software side, then of course they are related to something which are available in the physical world as hardware. So the physical things in the outside world, when represented as a software equivalent version of it, in the then we can think about them as digital twins. That means we cannot make them separate from each other. So the banking sector, we said that, we already know that there are many services in the banking sector which are being digitized. And as a
Yeah.
result of that, the physical attendance or the appearance of the customers in the physical structure buildings of the banking departments has reduced to considerable level. And this is closely related to other sector, as I mentioned in the beginning. So because this is the prime mover of the digital services, so in the other departments, so meaning to say that they are so closely related that digitalization in one domain cannot be realized by not having digitalization in another domain. So the banking sector is already, we know, is available in form of digital services. The same e-commerce, you already know that this was like used to be a shocking story or description, surprising description back in the in the 90s. If you had to buy something without physically seeing that something in the shop, so these remote things have become so much now available that people are preferring to buy things online instead of like buying them from visiting shops and markets. So that is the in the e-commerce side. On the healthcare side, the things were very much like penetrated into some level, but the start of the COVID-19, so in the early part of 2020, has accelerated the level of and the depth of digitalization in the healthcare. And we have recently witnessed how tests were performed and how data like was made available and how the services responded like very reliably, more or less reliably to like to services, and the clients
Yeah.
responded, and the remote, rural, and all areas got so connected, particularly in the case of Saudi Arabia, like is a very population is very scarcely populated, not very much heavily populated like in other parts of the world. And look, the services and the uh, were so much available and so nicely that like you didn't have to wait before you have the outcome, available on your mobile phone of your results or your tested. So the COVID-19 accelerated the implementation of digitalization, and also not only in the healthcare system, but also in the education system. That because the remote classes, the online classes, when the webinar, before we used to arrange seminars. Seminar means the arrangement of some speaker to speak on a topic by providing a venue for him and for the attendance and for the participants, and pick him from the hotel or from his place where he was, and then drop him back, and then the same some seating arrangement for the participant and the audience. I have been the postgraduate seminar coordinator in the International Islamic University for since 2009 until 2019. And during this time, I have hosted almost very renowned speakers of the world, those speakers who, for one or the other reason, were visiting Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia. So I know I had to arrange some pick and drop arrangement, and for the speaker from his hotel and back to his hotel. And now we know webinar at that time used to be a rare commodity. Not people were willing to attend webinar, rather were not too much aware of the utility of webinars. Now the webinars have surpassed the utility of the seminars. Even like your current platform is arranged so nicely, and I'm sure that you have been busy since the start of this event. And then look, the participants are distributed, and then the speakers are also distributed. So this distributed means not like isolated, of course, physically, but making them more available. And more availability means when you make somebody available by telecommunication, or like making him to speak from where he is. So easy for renowned speakers to become available. And this way, like the whole education and healthcare board develop equivalently. And particularly when the remote education was not being trusted, some just maybe before the COVID-19. And I believe that while in the Islamic University Malaysia, we have been receiving information that the degrees and MScs and PhDs, and for which the people appeared into their online examination and their online supervision, then they were not the consulate, the Saudi Arabian consulate, were not ready to attest it. This has been based on my experience. When I went to the Saudi consulate in Kuala Lumpur for the attestation of documents of my sister-in-law, who got graduated from UKM, a university in Malaysia. And then the requirement was this, that you give the passport pages showing visa of the student. And then and my sister-in-law was already with her husband, my brother here, and I asked her to send the copies of the passport pages of your passport. So then she sent. Then the final query was this: that look, she left Malaysia in 2016, and then appeared for her oral exam in 2017. So where she was in oral exam, I said she came to the university and appeared in the oral exam here. And look, this page shows. Finally, she said this 1 year, why she was absent from the university. I said because she was asked to write the thesis, and during this thesis writing, how she was being supervised. I said, supervised remotely. I said, no, this remotely, no. I said, no, the husband was leaving Malaysia because, so then she had to go with the husband. And then finally okay, let me ask the boss, approved by the boss. Then finally they attested the documents. Okay, otherwise they were not even ready for the supervision of thesis and consultation for online services. But now look, most of the things have become online. Even one of my students, Nasser Al-Muhaisan, PhD student, he was delaying his PhD because he says, in my country, online oral exam is not accepted until the COVID started. Then his Minister of Education allowed him to appear because he couldn't come to Malaysia because of the COVID reason. So now the things, I give you my practical experience, that now the online things are becoming more popular and have surpassed the physical, arrangement. And last week we arranged a nice webinar by Prof. Saif Rahman, the IEEE President-elect, and it was heavily attended by all relevant stakeholders. So now coming to the digitalization of power and energy. So the power and energy, of course, cannot be, when you say digitalization, as I said in the beginning, it means the availability of things which you were looking for by physically being to the venue and to the situation. And when you make it digitally available, you can save it, you transport it, you transmit it. So then once you transport things and transmit things and save it, then the reliability increases of that particular something. And equivalently, the monitoring and the, like the whole process becomes more authentic process. But of course, with this, there is a huge data is coming, and huge resources are used. And maybe I think in 2013, and also the availability of such a large amount of data then carries the risk of security with that. And that's how we have another equally, important domain development, the cyber security. And it happened to Saudi Aramco, I think in 2013, or that it was, a big lapse of security. And so the digitalization of the energies and the power sector means the things available. That means that you can monitor your client. If the client has already listed some appliances in the beginning, and then they are using more than that, and because of that, the quality of service is getting affected. The same about the industry. If the industry reactive power is showing up more, and then in spite of, you can send them in a kind of warning online without sending somebody in person to the premises, and then tell them that please improve your power factor, because your wars are becoming problem for the rest of the network. So this kind of things is all has become possible with the digital implementation. You monitor things and you uh, you implement guidelines, you implement rules and regulations just by the sending some messages and sending some information um, online. So this something like the has made, and now I believe in Saudi Arabia that things are already uh, having some uh, wireless communication mechanism installed at the customer premises, and even the data is being read out, is being collected remotely and accurately. So and of course, as a result of this data, the planning is becoming more possible. If you know the data of some existing network and uh, mm, some existing facility, then of course you can plan more, and particularly the data availability for the conventional power systems, you can uh, digitize it more. You can go ahead to plan it more for the distributed generation, which becoming part of the now the upcoming. Uh, so I'm slipping some slides so that we go to wherever our actual thing is. So, as I said in the beginning, it is the availability and accessibility. And of course, as a result, the transmission becomes easier, monitoring become possible, the possibility of saving is there, the stability increases, and as a result, quality improves. And this is giving us the probability of developing a power market in, and a kind of business. And as is in the, I think, in the National Renewable Energy Program, NREP of Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia is on, has been, on track to become a uh, power market and a business center. So when you make things available like digitally, of course, the chance of being intelligent increases. The chance of sustainability increases and adaptability increases. We have recently published one paper in which how the inverters are the basic, the interfacing components between the microgrids on the solar side and with the national grid. So when you connect more and more microgrids, and then of course the interfacing more, the larger the number of microgrids, the less become the impedance of the network. The one you are the microgrids are seeing the network. So the weak impedance becomes a channel for any like system disturbances on the national grid to pass on to the microgrid, and any system disturbances on the microgrid to pass on to the national grid. So this something is there, but you need to have big data. That will be a big issue, and resources. And you already must have heard about the clouds, that now data is being being a two-way communication with the cloud. So then another utility of the database is coming into the picture, which is the future shape. And Saudi Arabia is already uh, on track to develop a big database to become, before becoming a power hub for energy, for the business in the sector of energy and power. But this big data is associated with because there is a connectivity there, and then privacy issue, and because you start knowing things which you are not supposed to know. So this is another related issue, and this also connectivity of uh, the processes and the transactions and the physical world, of course, is needed as part of the Industry 4.0, because there are other projects coming up of smart cities and the intelligent highways and monitoring of crowds, and particularly monitoring of places of worship, like, during the days of Hajj and Umrah, and monitoring of places of public importance like stadiums, where the big, like concerts and sports, Wimbledon is going on now. So the monitoring of crowds. And of course, the spot pricing. That means you can become an energy market when you know who needs energy and at what time of the day or of the year. So this way you find out the right time, then obviously you will be better than those to offer the right price, an attractive price. And then, but the big challenge is this: to build such a dynamic system and a large infrastructures. You need large infrastructures, and at the same time, you are in the process of abandoning another set of large infrastructures, which are the conventional systems. So people are not ready to bear this cost of losing a large infrastructure to develop another large infrastructure, which is a mix of the digital twins. This current conventional infrastructure is just a hardware. So this something policymakers, the business executives, and so many others, the apps developer, my like there are many young guys who just after graduation go into companies which are working in in apps developing and giving jobs to those people who are not primarily qualified and deserve to get those jobs, because these various apps developing are just the use of the sharp mind and a kind of the digital kind of mind. So now coming to Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is well and naturally blessed because it's lying between longitude 35 to 55 east of Greenwich, and is lying between 17 degrees to 31 degrees north. I think 17 is Jizan, and this 35 is somewhere around west of Saudi Arabia. I don't know, Rambo, or I can't remember that exact name. And this is the east. And that one is Jizan, and this one up in the north, close to Jordan, or Arar. So naturally blessed with 8 to 9 hours of sunshine every day, and capable, having the potential of 250 watts per square meter, with a wind speed of 6 to 8, because it's surrounded by seas from everywhere. So then this something data I have collected, but because I said I'll be taking just 40 minutes of time, and this data is already showing various regions along with the latitude and the longitude and the solar potential and the wind potential. Look, and I have plotted this. I think there's a website available. You can get this data, which is given in the table from that website. And then you can, I have plotted this. And you see this color, the wind potential is this purple color. And the solar potential is this green color. Look, both are very much remains the same, stable, throughout the hours of a day. Look, so, and for, look, this plot I have already shown also here. Look, for various regions, showing Tabuk and Hail as the possibility of maximum solar potential. And the wind potential is alternating almost steadily. for all the regions, because you see the wind blowing almost in any direction during even at 24 hours of the day. It's surrounded by, on the eastern side, by the Arab Sea, and the south by the Arabian Sea and the Red Sea, and so on. Okay, so this is after this. Sorry, I'm going to the questions, the an answer session, and I thank you very much. But before that, I want to show you my own other experience. Before coming to Saudi Arabia, we had to attest our documents by the counselor of our respective countries. Then that attestation is obviously looking for the attestation of your documents from respective consulate of the countries you have gotten your degrees from. So let me go to that, the one I tried. And as I've gotten my degree from UK, so look, I had to upload to their, just one example of the digitalization I'm going. Look, I have to upload my degrees to the Saudi Arabian consulate in the UK, because my master and my PhD are from the University of Surrey and University of Strathclyde, respectively. Then look, if you upload things which are not proper, then they reject your whatever you have uploaded. So 2 times I tried, but it didn't work. Then look, then finally, when I got experience to have my degrees uploaded, then look, I get that reference number and I put it here. And then here I choose the country where I am from. Then I choose it, and then I submit this. Look, then you see here is, say you want to download, I download it, I get download. Then this download comes into your download folder. Then look, is it downloaded, or I think yes. Okay, here. Yeah, download. Yeah, here. Look, then my master, you see my master degree. This I'm downloading not from my resources. This I'm downloading from the Saudi consulate resources in the London. They look, my master degree is attested by them. When you print this, then this hardware, in the print, this stamp also is coming like this. So look, then I went to download my PhD degree, and then there was another, look, there another reference from the University of Strathclyde. And then I put this into that, my reference number into here instead of master. And then I choose Pakistani and submit. And look, download. I'm downloading it not from here, not from my computer. I'm downloading it from the hardware and software resource facilities, of course, which is digitalization of the Saudi consulate. So with this, I want to show you practically the utility. Now if you check the dates, I applied for this, look, on the 4th of March, 2020. And I applied for the PhD degree 22nd of August, 2019, before the COVID. And look, I downloaded my documents and showed you here. Now, this is the utility of the digitalization. in the education sector. And of course, the availability of my credential now online can be transported, can be tested, can be checked by anybody who are of relevant interest. With this, I'm going to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much for inviting me. Now, if there is any questions, I will be able to answer it according to my knowledge and understanding. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for this great presentation. I have a question. Uh, what are the disadvantages of the digitalization?
Yeah, this I give you one example. Like, for example, let's say you are in the healthcare system and your whole data and things are uh, digitized. So that I told you in the beginning that people know things which they are not supposed to know about you. So the
Mhm.
privacy is a big concern. And moreover, the availability of data in a place like I give you an example of the Saudi Aramco, then if the hackers are always everywhere, so the deep hacking of things becomes more common. That your video, your talking is available, your audio message is available, and then can be the hackers can put that video and you make other people uh, videos and information to speak through your mouth and your presentation. And you must have because one of my I'm co-supervisor, he's working on deepfaking in the
Mhm.
University of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and how the Barack Obama video was deepfake. So this something
Yeah.
deepfaking is another aspects, and the privacy, and your privacy is at risk. Means like people know things which they are not supposed to know, and then people
Mhm.
get jobs which they are not qualified to do it, and because of the simple way the digital logic and the implementation. So then he is very much qualified to work in that sector, but not mature mentally enough to use his expertise, properly and appropriately.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay. Is there any way to protect our privacy?
yes, that's something. Like augmentation, you must have heard about the. On one side, I said there is a negative side of this defaking problem. But on the other side, there is a, let me answer the question before I say something more about the positive side of this defaking.
Mhm.
So augmentation is something because in some of the cases, for example, in the healthcare system, in the image analysis, you need large databases in order to give accurate results. And that large amount of database is possible only when you approach respective patients or the subjects with those relative problems. And there are many people who are not disclosing their privacy things, so you do not get proper databases. So the deepfaking is another thing that where you do data augmentation in order to make data sets extensively extensive enough so that you do proper analysis of the images and the diagnosis. But at the same times, when you are capable in doing, like making sets extensive by augmenting it, then this problem of the privacy issue also comes with it. So how to stop it? This, first of all, you should know how data is being augmented. And then when you know how the data is being augmented, in order to make it extensive, for the accurate diagnosis of the problem, then you will be able to suggest some technique how to stop it. So we have presented one paper to IEEE Access on the utility side, on the positive side, but on the actual to stop it, then we are working on it now.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
There is someone asking if you can share with us your presentation.
Yeah. Okay. So shall
Yes.
I show a display manner? And also let me this Saman Khan has been a lot of ideas contribution into this presentation, except the last 3 or 4 slides and the first one slide are her ideas because she worked with the Schlumberger in the oil industry and also from Marcus Evans. So let me thank her first, and then I'm ready to respond to the other question.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
This
Okay. Is there any other question? I think that's all for today.
Okay.
Thank you very much for your great presentation.
Thank you very much, Tamir.
And thank you for your time.
Excuse me.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
Ibrahim.
Yes, thank you, Prof. Sheroz. I am very sorry for connection.
Yeah.
Connection.
I'm very much, I'm very much
Thank you
available.
for valuable presentation, and inshallah will be is.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Mallah bless. Thank you.
Yeah. So now we'll have a breakout session for 15 minutes. So I have shared a link. If you want to join us, so it will be an open discussion.
Yeah.
I've shared the link now. So
there's a break here. Then I will go for the Asr prayer, and then after that I will join the session. Just be a participant.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And at 3:30,
I will stop sharing the screen.
Okay.
Isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And at 3:30, we'll start another session. We'll be talking about IEEE Power and Energy Society STEP program.
Okay, Ayman.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye.